Beginning, the deadliest greenhouse in the galaxy. The Xenobotanical Research Institute of Varan 6 was not a place for the unprepared. It was a fortress disguised as a greenhouse. 6 domes of reinforced crystal glass, each containing flora so dangerous that entire species had gone extinct because of a single leaf, a drifting spore, or a drop of nectar. Even the air inside the domes was filtered, recycled, and sterilized aggressively. Plants didn't just grow here, they hunted. Professor Alindra Voss, one of the most respected xenobotanists in the Orion Expanse, had dedicated 3 centuries of her life to mapping botanical threats across the galaxy. She was tall, silver-skinned, with bioluminescent streaks under her eyes, the mark of her people, an old race known for sharp intellect and even sharper caution. Today, for the first time, she was preparing to give a tour to a human. Not just any human. Marcus Thale, a former Terran ranger turned explorer, known for his strange ability to survive things no one else could. A man who had once walked through the methane blizzards of Crithin, 3 wearing nothing but a thermal jacket and a smile. A man who claimed that Varan SAX's dangerous alien plants couldn't possibly be worse than human snacks. Alindra doubted that very much. As the outer doors hissed open, Marcus stepped inside wearing casual cargo pants, a breathable shirt, and absolutely no protective armor. A half-eaten granola bar hung from the corner of his mouth. "Let me guess," he said. "No food inside?" Alindra pinched the bridge of her nose. "Human, that bar contains sugars. Sugars are centriggers. Over half the plants in Dome 1 detect sugars the way predators detect blood." Marcus shrugged. "I've handled predators." "These are worse," she said bluntly. "These are plants." His grin widened. "How bad can a plant be?" The professor muttered something in her native tongue. A frustrated, glowing pulse traveled down her cheek markings. The tour began. Dome 1 was humid, thick with oxygen and glowing spores. A towering plant with crimson leaves swayed gently. "This," Alindra said, "is the thanophyte serrata. Touching its leaf will stop a heart in 8 seconds." Marcus poked it immediately. Before Alindra could scream, the leaf recoiled from him in fear. He blinked. "Ha! Feels like mint." The professor stared at him as though he had just rewritten biology, with a finger. You touched it bare-skinned? You told me what it does. I wanted to see." He scratched his chin. "Are you sure it kills in 8 seconds? Maybe humans are immune." "No one is immune." He gave the leaf another poke. The plant shuddered dramatically, curling away. "Looks like it doesn't like me." Alindra whispered, "That should be impossible." It would not be the last time Marcus proved her research wrong. Middle, human, that is not food. Dome 2 contained carnivorous flora. Huge pitcher structures, snapping vines, and sticky globules of sweet-scented gel hung from branches like traps. Alindra spoke crisp and fast. "Stay behind me. Do not touch anything. Do not inhale deeply. And do not, under any circumstances, eat any." Crunch. She froze. "Human, what was that sound?" Marcus chewed slowly. "Tasted like pepper." Her eyes widened. "You ate something?" "I thought it was a snack sample. Looked like a peppercorn cluster." That was Volaris Rotbane. Alindra took a careful step toward him. "1 seed can melt the digestive tract of an adult Dralian." Marcus shrugged. "Kinda zesty." "You should be dead." "I've eaten human military rations," he said with a grimace. "After those. This is mild." Alindra grabbed his wrist and scanned him with a biosensor. The device sputtered, then let out a confused beep. "No reaction," she whispered. "Your metabolism is dissolving the toxin faster than it registers." Marcus popped another Rotbane seed into his mouth. "Stop eating things," she shouted, but it was too late. He nodded with satisfaction. Honestly, should bring some of these home. Great for barbecue seasoning. Alindra nearly passed out. Deeper they went. In Dome 3, glowing tendrils hovered above the ground. This plant, Alindra said, pointing, is the Limivora spectralis. It lures prey with bioluminescence, then drains electrical impulses from the nervous system. Instant paralysis. Marcus raised an eyebrow. So, like a living taser? No, like death. But Marcus walked right up to the hovering tendrils. They drifted toward him, sniffed if one could call bioluminescent tendril sniffing, and then recoiled, dimming. They're scared of you, Alindra said numbly. Maybe they don't like my electricity. Marcus tapped his temple. Got an implant. Emits some stuff to regulate neurotransmitters. Humans get these for PTSD, focus, stress, you know. You're telling me you walk around with an unshielded neural amplifier? It has a warranty. Alindra stared at him as though reconsidering everything she knew about humans. Then came Dome 4. The walls were covered with crawling ivy. This, she warned, is the grave mind creep. One brush of its vines will enter the bloodstream through the skin and... Marcus sneezed. 5 vines recoiled violently and hid under a cluster of rocks. Alindra just stared. Marcus sniffled. Allergies? No, Alindra said. They are terrified. To be fair, my sneezes are loud. Human, she breathed. Your biology is wrong. He flashed a grin. Thanks. That was not a compliment. The incident. The plant that ends worlds. By the time they reached Dome 5, Alindra had given up on explaining anything. Marcus had survived 4 domes of flora so lethal that even her species used robots for maintenance. Dome 5, however, was different. Its temperature was near freezing. Its light dim. Its silence absolute. Here, Alindra whispered, as the door sealed behind them, lives the deadliest plant known to the galaxy. Marcus whistled softly. Finally, the boss level. Do not joke, she said firmly. This is Cerberus veninum, also called the threefold reaper. He raised an eyebrow. Catchy. She stepped forward, pointing at a small, hunched plant with 3 pulsating bulbs. It wasn't large, barely the size of a human head, and looked almost harmless. This plant has ended civilizations, she said. Even a microscopic taste of it can shut down the cardiovascular system in seconds. Marcus blinked. Seconds? Yes. He approached the containment railing. And you keep this in a greenhouse? It is under 43 layers of shielding. Marcus leaned over the railing. Looks like garlic. Do not. Too late. Marcus reached into his pocket, pulled out a steel probe, and tapped the central bulb. The bulb popped. A hiss of purple gas burst out. Alindra screamed. Run! But Marcus stood calmly as the gas swirled around him. It hissed against his skin like acid meeting water, but did nothing. Absolutely nothing. The plant, however, began to wilt. Its bulbs shriveled. Its roots retreated deeper into the soil. Alindra stared in shock. It's dying. Marcus waved the gas away casually. Maybe it has pollen allergies. No, she whispered. It is reacting to you. What are you made of? Mostly stubbornness. Alindra ran a full scan. Marcus's blood pressure was normal. His oxygen was normal. His neural implant hummed steadily. He was completely unharmed. Then, without warning, Marcus reached over the railing again, picked up a dried flake of the plant's husk, and put it in his mouth. Human stop. He chewed thoughtfully. Kinda smoky. Good for stew. Alindra nearly fainted again. That was Cerberus veninum, the deadliest plant in the universe. We call that seasoning, Marcus said casually. The truth. Why humans survive everything. The professor pulled Marcus into the decontamination chamber, ranting with a level of panic that could shatter glass. This contradicts thousands of research papers, she said. You should have died 6 times. Your reactions don't make sense. Nothing about this makes sense. Marcus shrugged. Human bodies are weird. No, Alindra said firmly. Human bodies are reckless. Your species evolved on a death world. A death world?
Yes.
Terra's environmental data is horrifying. Extreme temperatures, aggressive predators, microbial warfare, plants that contain their own toxins, animals that produce venom, terrain that kills at random. Marcus laughed. Yeah, Earth's kinda rough. Alindra jabbed a finger toward him. Your species evolved surrounded by threats. Your immune system is overbuilt. Your liver can neutralize things that melt starship metal. Your pain tolerance is absurd. And your psychology, she stopped, inhaled deeply. You ate a plant that kills Titan-sized predators in seconds. Again, Marcus said. Nice flavor. No sentient species I've ever met, she whispered, is designed to endure what humans can. Marcus looked thoughtful for the first time. Guess we never realized it, he said quietly. To us, dangerous stuff was just part of life. Alindra shook her head. Humans aren't fearless. You just assume you'll live through things you shouldn't. Sometimes we do, he agreed. Sometimes we don't. For a moment, they stood in silence, surrounded by sterilizing mist. Ending. The species that should not exist. Walking back toward the Institute's entrance, Alindra was deep in thought. You've changed everything, she finally said. Human biology must be studied. Your resistance may hold cures for hundreds of poisons. Thousands. Your species may be the key to universal antitoxin research. Marcus scratched his neck. As long as you don't poke me with anything weird. We will not poke you, she said, then paused. Much. Marcus groaned. Alindra glanced back at Dome 5. It was already entering full lockdown. Its alarm lights glowed a warning red. You do understand the severity of what happened today, yes? She said. I poked a plant. You poked the deadliest organism in the galaxy. Marcus adjusted his jacket. It popped like a grape. She rubbed her temples. Human, you terrify me. I get that a lot. As they reached the airlock, Alindra stopped him with one more question. Marcus, be honest. On your world, Earth, are there many plants like these? Marcus nodded.
Sure.
Some worse. She stared at him, horrified. Worse. Oh yeah. You ever heard of ghost peppers?
No.
Imagine Cerberus veneninum. He pointed back toward the deadly plant dome. But it's a vegetable people eat for fun. Alindra nearly dropped her datapad. Your species consumes lethal plants willingly? He nodded. We call it spicy food. The professor looked like she needed to sit down. Marcus patted her shoulder. Hey, look on the bright side. If you ever need someone to test alien toxins, I'm your guy. No, Alindra said immediately. Absolutely not. You are banned from every dome indefinitely. Marcus shrugged.
Fair.
But if you ever cook something with those rotbane seeds, let me know. Great flavor. Alindra stared at him like he was a natural disaster wearing pants. And yet, her final words surprised even herself. Marcus Thale, she said quietly. Humanity terrifies me, but it may also save the galaxy. Marcus grinned. We try. And with that, the doors hissed open, sunlight streaming in. Marcus walked out, alive, toxin-free, and carrying a small snack pouch filled with alien seeds he definitely wasn't supposed to take. Alindra sighed, already drafting 14 urgent research reports. The galaxy had many mysteries. But none were more impossible than the simple truth. Humans were built to survive the impossible, and sometimes they called extinction-level toxins seasoning.